Good morning. Welcome to California State University, Los Angeles, ranked #1 in the nation for the upward mobility of our students. I am Jose Gomez, Executive Vice President at Cal State Los Angeles. We are honored to welcome Attorney General Javier Becerra and Congressman Jimmy Gomez to the university. They are regular visitors to campus and are steadfast champions for Cal State Los Angeles, our students, our faculty, staff, and the communities that we serve. It is a great privilege to stand with Attorney General Becerra today as he upholds DACA and protects our students. We should not place barriers in front of our deserving students. Their ambitions will fuel California's future prosperity. Thank you, Attorney General Becerra, for supporting Cal State LA students. They are California's future. They are our nation's future. Welcome, Attorney General Javier Becerra.
Grab your papers? Sorry about that. No problem. Jose, to you and to the president and administrators and faculty at Cal State LA, but really to the students of Cal State LA, we want to say thank you for making this a great institution and a great home for our future leaders of America, including our immigrant students who have come to enrich this country. I want to thank Congressman Jimmy Gomez for making it back from Washington, D.C. to be here. I want to thank our special guests who are here, Sophia and Eric, who will speak to us. They are both students in college, and they are both dreamers, DACA recipients. And I simply want to say to the press and media who are here, thank you for believing this is important enough to cover. Because there's not a person here, whether you're the cameraman, the journalists, the administrators, the elected officials, or the students who are here, there's not a one of us here who doesn't hope and dream that in the future our child will have an opportunity to succeed and achieve far more than we ever did. And that's generational. That always goes on. And so the reason we're standing here today is to say that that American dream, that your child will get to do more, achieve greater heights than you ever had, is still a dream in America that you can live regardless of your background, regardless of the color of your skin, and regardless of your immigration status. In California, we believe it's what you want to give to the country that counts. And so if you're a dreamer and a DACA recipient, we want to stand behind you and say, we've got your back. And so I am proud to tell you that today I am joined by 19 other attorneys general throughout the country who have issued a letter with me to the President of the United States saying, we are ready to defend DACA and every single DACA recipient in this country because they deserve it. We also want to make it clear, the DACA program begun by President Barack Obama is legal, and it has been done before, and it has proven its success, not just for the DACA recipients, not just for their families, but for our state of California and for our country's economy. It has been a great boon for the California and American economy to have the dreamers come out of the shadows. And so we're here to say we stand with them because they're working for us. And so, Mr. President, we're here to say you've said you want to see those dreamers and those DACA recipients have a chance. You said that they should not worry. Well, we want to say to you that we're ready to stand and defend DACA with you if you will stand up and do that as well. And so we're ready. And I know every DACA recipient is ready as well. One of every 4 DACA recipients is here in the state of California. And so we have an obligation here. And I, as the chief officer in the law, have an obligation to represent them and defend them. And that we will do. With that, let me now ask our newest congressman from California, who is now the representative of the 34th Congressional District, which I knew very well for 24 years. Please come forward, Congressman Jimmy Gomez.
First, let me thank Cal State LA for hosting us, as well as the Attorney General and the other Attorney Generals from across the country in defending DACA. DACA is the embodiment of our nation's highest values, and it is dreamers, I believe, that want nothing more than to earn degrees, join the workforce, contribute their skills to make the United States a stronger and better place to live. It gives hope to thousands who were brought here to this country as young children and have lived here, and is the only country they ever called home. The Trump administration claims not to target DACA recipients for immigration enforcement. We know of several cases reported of ICE agents detaining dreamers, and we believe this is simply unacceptable and illegal. DHS's interior enforcement actions also sow fear and distrust in the immigrant communities, thereby making not only those communities less safe, but all of us less safe. DHS must keep President Trump's promise that dreamers will be protected from deportation. And I will fight, as well as other members of Congress, will fight any action by the Trump administration that threatens the DACA program and the livelihood of dreamers. And we believe DACA was a significant achievement for many immigrants. It is but we believe it's also by no means a substitute for comprehensive immigration reform. You know, 4 of my siblings came to the United States undocumented in the early 70s. My parents came, and eventually my parents formalized and legalized their status, and then eventually my siblings became citizens, legal permanent residents and citizens. They're now teachers. 2 of them are teachers. 1 of them works for the University of San Francisco, and another one is a graphic designer. You know, they're working to make our country a better place. And imagine if they were here during a time where they wouldn't be able to formalize their status, or they didn't have the protections. Where would we be? Would be minus 2 teachers, a graphic designer, and an administrator at the University of San Francisco. So these DACA recipients are our brothers and sisters, and we need to listen to them and make sure that they feel protected and that we make their case in the halls of Congress. But I want to introduce a DACA recipient so she can share her story, and let's give a round of applause to Sophia.
Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Attorney General Javier Becerra, Congressman Jimmy Gomez, and Executive Vice President Jose Gomez, and the entire Cal State LA community for hosting this event. My name is Sophia. I'm currently a senior at Cal State LA and studying communications, and soon I will be applying for my master's degree in educational counseling. My story begins in Sonora, Mexico, with 2 very hardworking parents. At the age of 4, those 2 hardworking parents decided to move our family to California because they wanted us to have greater opportunities. If you ask me about Sonora, I would probably tell you that it was where I was born. If you were to ask me about California, I would tell you that this is my home. Ever since I was little, my parents worked to provide for me and my sisters. They have provided a roof over our heads, food on our table, and all the necessities we needed to survive. Growing up, we had all that we needed, and maybe a little extra. My sisters and I often didn't see my parents because of their grueling work schedules. But regardless, my family remained united. Growing up, I understood that I was born in a different country, but I didn't understand what it meant to be undocumented. All that changed during my senior year of high school. As I and my classmates prepared to graduate, we met with our guidance counselors to decide what our lives after high school would look like. In a meeting with my counselor, I let her know that I wanted to be a teacher and wanted to go to school. She knew that I was undocumented. She was trying to be helpful when she told me that my best option was to go back to Mexico and study there. Her words just kept replaying in my mind. Go back to Mexico. Well, my parents are here, my friends are here, my life is here. This is my home. Once I was able to gather my thoughts, I said, okay. And that was the end of our meeting. I went home and I internalized it. I thought about what being undocumented meant to me. It felt like I was living a new reality. I was afraid to go to college, to follow my dreams, and for the first time in my life, I understood what it really meant to feel afraid. Luckily, I have two parents who are completely fearless and who were able to help me snap out of it and take matters into my own hands and get me where I am today. My senior year of high school also happened to be the same year that DACA was launched. My parents quickly jumped in. They were able to help me and my sisters apply for DACA. Being so young, I didn't really understand the magnitude and the help that DACA was going to bring to my life. Now I'm a little older, and I see what a wonderful DACA has been to me and those around me. DACA has allowed me to pursue a higher education, to work and contribute financially to my household, but most importantly, it has allowed me to do what I value most: help other students who are lost how I felt when I was in high school. Currently, I work at a high school where I mentor and encourage students to pursue higher education. Every day I go to work, each student that crosses my path brings light to my life. They help me more than I could ever help them. There are countless days where I encounter students who feel the same fear that I felt back when I was in high school. Many of the students have DACA or are looking to apply for DACA. DACA has given my students, other countless students who are undocumented, and me, to break boundaries that were placed in front of us. Without DACA, my life would be very different, and it would also be very different for others. I would never be able to financially contribute to my higher education or even work at a high school. DACA was a stepping stone in discovering my purpose. I'm working towards mine and my parents' dreams, and they are slowly becoming a reality because of DACA. I am just one of the very many courageous individuals that will be affected if DACA is rescinded. DACA has opened a door that I will gratefully walk through, and I can only hope and keep on fighting that it will remain open for those who are behind me. Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Eric to go ahead and share his story too.
Hi, everybody. This is my first press conference. So if I'm a little nervous or a little stunning, please don't mind me, okay? I don't really have a speech prepared, so I'm just going to speak from the heart. So my story is very similar to Sophia's. My family came to the United States with all of us in the year 2001. I was 8 years old. Coming together, we knew nothing. We don't have any family here. We don't really have any job here, anything lined up. But we came because my family wanted a better education opportunity for me and my brother. We came to the United States. I remember landing in LAX, really scared, but holding my family in hand, just anxious, but also excited about what was in store for us. I remember going to elementary school, not speaking a single language, going to ESL, trying to find friends, trying to find community here. And I went to middle school and just found a lot of great, amazing people in the community, other students as well. I remember going to middle school, high school, and college. And I remember I found out I was undocumented when I was applying for colleges. I remember doing FAFSA. And I don't know if you know, if you're undocumented, you're not supposed to do FAFSA. You're supposed to do DREAM Act. But I knew nothing. And there was no information out for us. I knew everything according, just from like word of mouth. Other students were in my position. We all just sort of got together and just sort of figured things out on our own. And I'm extremely blessed to have those friends today. Currently, because of DACA, when it was first implemented, my family was really, at first, they weren't sure what it really was. I remember we reached out, we asked a lot of people and trying to find other means of trying to get what this really is. What is DACA, right? So when we first applied, me and my brother, I remember going to the lawyer's office and signing a form and just really confused on what this was. But I remember my parents were saying, like, look, this will help us, this will help you get some sort of documentation or some sort of identification. And I remember thinking, like, okay, I trust my parents, I'll do it. DACA really allows a lot of us in undocumented population to get social security number, to get some sort of work permit. And currently, because I have DACA, I can work on campus. And I currently have 2 paid internships, which is fantastic, by the way. One on campus and one Korean Resource Center, the Buena Park, one in Buena Park. And it's just been an extreme blessing. And I think about every single day how extremely privileged I really am. And I currently attend UC Irvine, Anteaters, Zat. And just amazing campus for a lot of undocumented students like myself. And I had the opportunity to meet such an amazing community there. And from then I realized I met a lot of students who are non-DACA and they don't qualify for DACA. And I know DACA isn't perfect. It's not the immigration reform that we need. But I believe in my heart that it is a step toward the right direction. And it's sometimes, it saddens me that we have to fight the same fight again. But I believe that with our voices, with our stories, we can make this happen. And I ask the president, please, when we make a decision, please realize the impact we have in the community. DACA allows me and 700,000 other undocumented students and undocumented families and folks to be able to contribute somewhat into taxes, to be able to work, to have a life here. And yes, and I think for me, DACA has been so personal to me. It allows me to work on campus, have social security, and have some sort of work permit, even though you got to be new, but it allows me to somewhat have the opportunity. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say. Yes, and then please welcome back the Attorney General.
I think we would have been smarter just to have Sophia and Eric do this press conference by themselves. I hope we can all be, just like Sophia said her parents are, and that is fearless. Just believing that in risking so much and giving their kids a chance to become American, that it was the right thing to do. And our history demonstrates that if we just always open doors for people, we will be the much better for it. And so to every DACA recipient who's out there or is thinking of applying, please know there are some of us who have your back, and we will be there to defend DACA to the very end and make sure it succeeds. Thank you all very much.